You know what? I will simply try it. I don't think that it will work, but I will try it. Because I have actually no clue. Nope. Going right into that thing. I also don't think that it will actually work with the wolf form. No. Why can't you pull me out, Midna? With your grabby hand. But I will try something different. Even though I also think that won't work. I mean, we have to get this somehow, right? Maybe. Oh! It actually worked. Okay. Oh. Please let me bounce in this room. You wake up, right? Yeah. Bounce! Just an idea? Okay, I can't set you on fire. Do I have to blow you up? Is that the thing that the room is trying to tell me? Yeah, actually, yeah. And here we come to another point. It's not really new lore that I didn't tell so far or anything. But it's a thing you could say, or a hint, more so, that the aliens after the war and moreover like after Gendorf's execution or meanwhile and I don't know, the war isn't really defined out, um, but that's actually the goddess of the Gerudos. It's not really much known about her in the books. It simply says that she is a goddess of sand and the desert itself, and that the Gerudo simply worship her. It's their goddess of the desert. And it's actually nothing mentioned about her being a demon or something like that. And I also do like the depiction version of Ocarina of Time a bit more. But it's a hint that the Arbiter's Crowns were at some point I don't know the word. But they belong to the Gerudo. And we're also conquered by the Hylians, like everything in after Ocarina of Time. And yeah, so I know I know I mentioned it, but for those who may simply not really like Ocarina of Time and or haven't watched it yet and something like that, I will simply repeat the lore about it a bit. And the Hylians actually started oppressing the Gerudo and always starting a war against them and all that, and simply because they saw that they don't worship Hylia and the three goddesses. And they simply assumed that if it's not Hylia or one of the three goddesses, it must be a demon or another evil entity. And that's why the Hylians started war against the Gerudo. I know it's a bit anticlimactic, anticlimactic, but yeah, that's the whole reason, and I think it's still pretty bitter if you consider or if you keep in mind that everything here in the desert was a belonging of the Gerudo and the Desert Colossus. I don't really know if the Arbiter's Grounds is a ruined version of the Desert Colossus or the other desert dungeon we will have later in the game, or if it was simply destroyed. But nonetheless, it belonged to the Gerudo, and from what I do know about Gerudo is that they view their sites, locations, not the fortresses or anything, but the stationary things. I that they likely consider their stuff as sacred, and yeah, it's bitter if you think about that the Hylians simply came in and took their sacred grounds from them. Oh, but you know what? I will have a little pause and get my encyclopedia uh, and read it. I can't actually read it out loud because I have the German version. But I will read into the text for the Gerudo goddess and see if I simply forgot something. So I didn't really forgot anything, but what I've somewhat forgot to mention and was that the Arbiters grounds became, after the execution of Gendorf, actually an official execution site for the Hylians. Meaning they used it from then on for executions and all that. And the writings here in the Arbiters Grounds and the other desert dungeon thingy are actually Gerudo letters and are more like a remembrance of the spirit temple, so we can assume that the Arbiters Grounds were actually are actually the remains of the spirit temple of the Gerudo. So the holy sacred site or grounds for the Gerudo, and yeah, are now an execution site for the Hylians. But it didn't really mention if okay, I think there is some kind of so I do have an idea, and maybe I'm thinking. Oh. I mean, so meaning that this was white and that not. But I have to say that the book didn't really point it out that if the Arbiters grounds are the remains of the spirit temple. I have to say that. And or the other thing we will visit later in the game. Am I that mad? One second. Maybe I am that mad. Because they have shown the letters, or the Gerudo alphabet in the book. And maybe, just maybe, we can read something from that, but I don't think. I mean, from the right, the lower line without the dot could be an eye that is upside down, actually. But I don't think I like it. So, oh. Can we read that? Oh, that is definitely writing. 1 second. Is it? Does it make sense? 1 second. Because that is crystal clear. The first one is an A. Okay, so far it doesn't make any sense. Because the first one is an A, the second an W, the third one is an U, the fourth letter is a Z. I think it's called Z. Or Z. And so it's called Awuzu, so far. But I don't think... I mean, maybe it's simply gibberish, but maybe it's also Gerudo language, or maybe I will look into it and maybe it does make sense. Because I will... Can I... Maybe that's a good frame. I will definitely put the translation of the letters here, because that's pretty easy to read. So yeah, I will simply wait for a second here, and maybe you can read it, and we will know after the editing what it does mean. And we think can have a good stretch. I will go back for a second, because or maybe it's simply for going upstairs. Maybe. We will find out. This was not what I wanted. Yeah, seems like simply for switching the thing. So I guess we are done in this section. Leave me goddamn alone. Come on, Link. Come on. If it's not the map, I will scream. Okay. Now I'm pretty more relaxed. Oh, nice!